I want you to first of all get to really know yourself. And also prioritize God's place in your life. Let that actually be the love of your life. Let the Lord be the love of your life first, so that you are receiving from Him the love that you are looking for. You're not going to be looking at it in a spouse, so that you are not dependent. Just like we talked about in the beginning. Really establish.
Instead of be sleep, let it be hate, let it degrade, let it be deep. Some others should weep, some others should keep the memory of the way that I died. Maybe
today, I have the rare privilege, the opportunity to have a sit down and discuss with an amiable personality and an author, someone who also happens to be the first female guest on the Testament podcast. And today we're just going to engage with her in one of our books. So today we are having a book review on The One You Marry. She's an author of several books, the author of Time with My Father, Guided Heart. She is Reverend Mrs. Freda Idahosa Ajayi. So today's a special episode, and this episode is going to touch on those who are in any relationship whatsoever, and those who are having the intentionality to settle down, to marry. So we're going to look at the book, The One You Marry. The One You Marry is an amazing book. This book, I have gone through this book. I think the book is made up of 82 pages, and it contains a lot of amazing information that if you imprint this information into your life, you will have a better relationship. And one thing I want to indulge every one of us is get this book. It will also help you to identify characterization of the person you eventually want to marry, and also reposition you and restructure you to also be the right person for the one you want to marry. So this book is an essential. We just see how we're going to relate with it and talk about the essence of why it is important for you to have these lessons that will help you to become someone better. Now also, why are we talking about issues related to marriage? It is very obvious that there is high rates of marriage failure in society and divorce, and also a report by the Nigerian Journal of Sociology and Anthropology titled Prevalence and Pattern of Marital Dissolution in Nigeria indicated that the rate of divorce cases among young couples is higher than the prevailing rates in some European countries. So this tells a lot why this book is very, very, very important. Observing your book, the introduction gave us a light of where you conceived the idea behind this book, what brought about the idea, and it reviewed extensively the emotional trauma you witnessed in one of your staff. I just want to, for those who are just joining us for the first time and those who have gone through this book, I just want you to give us a summary of the story.
Well, I'm very happy to be here. I didn't know I was the first female guest. I feel very honored.
Yes, you are.
The story of the book and the introduction that I mentioned in the book is about a staff member that I was working with, who was just a very lovely young lady, and I thought she's great. I didn't know she was dating anyone. We didn't really talk that deeply about her life. And then one day she didn't show up for work, and I was very curious as to what happened to her. There was no call, there was nothing. I was wondering, where did she go? So I called her phone. I said, "Where are you? I'm wondering where you're. Hello?" And a young man picked up the phone, and he said, "Hello, this is her husband." And I knew she wasn't married. I didn't even know she was dating. And so the shock of that, I was like, "What do you mean this is her husband?" I said, "It's her husband." I said, "Oh, I'm looking for so and so. She didn't come to work today." He said, "Yes, I don't think she's going to be coming back to that job. I don't think I'm going to let her come back to the job." So the phrase let me know that there's some control issues going on. But she's an independent young lady. I said, okay, what happened? And I was trying to be very calm. I didn't know what the situation was, even if she was alive. And he said, well, I've locked her in the room. And I've decided that she's not going to come to work today. I said, what's the problem, sir? Because I want to be respectful. And he said, well, she doesn't cook for me on time. She doesn't wash my clothes anymore. She's disrespectful. So I was very alarmed. I couldn't understand why she would be locked in a room, why her phone has been taken. Because from all views of her from the outside, she's a very, very lovely girl, very calm. So for her to even be in this kind of situation was shocking to me. So I was very calm with him. I was very respectful and said, okay, no problem, sir, thank you. And, I'll speak with her later. As soon as I got on the phone, I started panicking. And I called her supervisor and I said, please, she's missing. I don't know what's going on. I called her phone, so I picked up. Do you know where she could be? Does anyone else know? Because I knew she lived very far away. In Ubo, which for us is from where I live and where she works and everything, is about maybe 30-40 minutes. So I thought, is that where she is? So apparently her supervisor knew that she had another place that she was living closer to our workplace. And so they said, yeah, they have another location and they're going to go try and find her. So after about 24 hours, she was located, she was brought out, she was extracted. And so she didn't come to work that next day. So it was the next day she came to work. And I just looked at her and said, what are you doing? What are you doing? What is this? Is this what you want to do? Because what is this situation? She said, she's going to, they're going to break up with me. Yes, he is her boyfriend. I said, how did you get to the position where he is dominating your life? Where he can say, you're not going to work today, you're not going to, I've locked her in the room and I've taken her phone. I just didn't understand how that is happening. You're not married, I know you're not married. So she said, yes, well, actually, he had paid her school fees. And from her 300 level, he had been paying her school fees, he has met her with her family, and they kind of have an understanding. But his house is closer to work. And so she moved to his house, and she was coming to work from his house. But he's never there, she said. He's a traveler. He does this, he does that. He's never in town. So it's not like they were really living together. I said, but now you're in this situation. So she said, well, she's going to end it. It's too much for her. She just feels like she's just been saving her money. She's going to give him back all his money. And she's going to end it because she's not going to be happy with it. I said, who is he accountable to? Who can talk to this person? And she said, well, no one really. There's an uncle that he has. And the last time something like this happened, I went to the uncle and I said, this is what happened. I'm not comfortable with it. And his uncle said, the only reason I'm having this conversation with you is because you're not married yet. Once you get married, we'll never have this kind of conversation. So that let me know that he's not accountable to anybody. And also their family, violence is kind of okay. It's not something that they're like, why are you doing this to your wife, or what's happening? And they're okay with it. That's all, you're married, like, deal with your situation. So she said, yes, and that's the only thing. So she knows that it's not going to work. I said, okay, no problem. I advised her, I spoke, and told her about her value in Christ, blah, blah, blah. So she said, it's over. I said, okay, no problem. I didn't hear anything about it for about 2 months. And then she came up to me one day and handed me an invitation card. And I thought, well, that was really quick. If you broke up with them, you met somebody else, you're great married. So I looked at the card, I looked at the name, I looked at it. I said, this person, who is this person? And she said, it's the person that you and I talked about 2 months ago. I said, the person that locked you in the room. And I called and he said, it's your husband. And she said, yes, well, everything's fine now, and we're going to go ahead with the wedding. I said, wait. And I was about to keep on speaking, and then the Holy Spirit said, shut up. You've said enough. And so I kept quiet. I said, congratulations. Because now it's not like you don't know what your future is going to be. You are fully aware what you're walking into. You're grown. You're not like in agape form. You're not a teenager. So she knew what she was getting. So I said, okay, no problem, congratulations. I didn't give her money. Towards the wedding.
We're going to dissect the story.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that got to me captivated was the first lesson in the book. Marry the one whose family does not commit violence. And I have a lot of questions coming in, but what I want you to do, I want you to give us, maybe simplify that's this lesson one for me. Then I will ask questions. I have questions for that. I want you to know something. Let me hear from you to understand. Where you were when you wrote this lesson one.
That lesson came directly from this story, and I just, when you're getting married, you're not just marrying the person. You're marrying the entire family. You're married into a family. And you have to really take a step back and look at their values. What do these people value? How do they behave? What is normal for them? Because you're entering a whole new world of people that you have to be interacting with. When you have family get-togethers, birthdays, anniversaries, you have to be seeing these people. They might be coming to your house for this or that, Christmas. All these kind of things are going to be happening. So you want to look at what they value. So when I say don't marry into a family that condones or allows or accepts violence, it means that if you do, you will not have a support system behind you.
The first question,
because it's not a problem.
The first question that got into me when I read this statement, this phrase, was what is the probability for you to be able to identify not just a person who's violent, but a family who accept or condone violence? Because during courtship, we all go through the stage of courtship, and during courtship, the ideology behind courtship is it's for you to be able to understand your supposed spouse, understand the person you want to settle down with, the person you have decided to take the decision to begin a new phase of your life. And one thing I know that is very prevalent in this during courtship is we do all hide our flaws.
Put your best foot forward.
Exactly, we do that. So how is it possible for one to identify a person who accepts violence? Because a family who accepts violence or condone violence would definitely, so anyone who grew from a family who accepts violence will be violent. And the one thing I also came across,
not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily. They might see violence and say, I don't want that.
I don't want to.
A lot of men make that choice and say, you know what, I don't like how my mother was treated. I'm not going to repeat that with my wife. It's a conscious choice.
The one thing that contradicts this question I asked was, if everyone go through the lessons, you listed about 30 lessons, if everyone go through the lessons, it is easier for such person to understand or have this revelation of who this person is. You don't need to spend a long time for you to see these flaws in him or understand that, okay, this person has this part of him that he is not revealing. But there are what I call them molecules that will reveal the intentionality of this person. So now, this book is not just a book that helps you identify this individual. It also helps you to reposition yourself to be the right person for whoever you choose to be. Because you want the right person, you need to position yourself to also be.
You have to become the right person.
So, and that was what contradicted the question that I was about to ask you. But it said something about someone can be from the family who condone violence and at the same time do not accept it. And it is also difficult for you at this stage to imprint the right information, embody the right information for you to also align yourself to be the right person. And it's not just finding that everyone wants something good.
Yeah.
But in as much as you want something good, it's also good for you to position yourself to feel, because when I say when it comes to relationship, it is like minds. Most of the times it is like minds. Most of the times it is like minds. That is why it is important for you as a Christian to marry one who is also a Christian and believe in your faith.
Equally yoked.
Exactly, because in as much as it can affect your spiritual life, it can also deprive you from achieving your potentiality.
Absolutely.
So let's go to the lesson. So I have so many things I want to talk to, but let's just start with this. Lesson 2, you said.
Let me address something that you said about being married to the right person. If you really want to get to know, and this is for people that are really curious, and you really want to get to know the person and their family. Like, how do you know that their family condones violence? In every family, there are a lot of stories. So I always look out for stories. If you're going to be dating somebody, listen for the stories. You hear, oh, that auntie, where is she now? Oh, that one way your husband beat that time. Or that one way she called it crazy. Wait, hold on. What happened? You want to get to know the family, you want to get to know the person very well. So you can have a full picture. I don't like walking into situations where I don't know what I'm getting. I'm not a surprise person. I don't like surprises. If you ask me, I don't like it. I like to know what's going to happen. I like predictability. I like to prepare myself. What is going to happen? How is it going to be? So when you're in a major thing like marriage, you want to do as much research as possible. You need to ask as many questions as possible. What happened to your dad? What's the relationship with you and your dad? What's the relationship with your dad and your mom? Are they together? What happened? How many wives does he have?
But sometimes when you ask these questions, especially during courtship, the person becomes, why are you asking me this question?
It's the how. I think a lot of ladies, especially when they're courting, the way they ask the question is very like inspector, interrogation. It's not that we're friends. I'm just curious. I just want to know. This is what happened in my family. How does it happen in your family? So it's the approach to it that you have to be very careful with, ladies especially, and even guys too. You don't want to be interrogating the person and, okay, so sit down, put on your lights, and you're like, tell me one of the top 5 things that happened in your family in the past 10 years. It's not going to be that. You ease into it. It's a friendship. Friendship before wedding. That's why I think that it's very important that you marry your friend. You can't just marry somebody. Oh, I like her, I like him, he's a great guy, let's get married. Really get to know who you are marrying. And that takes time. So I am not someone that encourages 3 months and then we're married.
Okay, you do not.
At all. I feel like you have to see somebody in several different scenarios. What do they do when they're disappointed? How do they behave when they're angry? How do they behave when they're sick? How do they behave when they're broke? How do they behave when they have money?
But sometimes all of this do not unveil itself.
Time.
Do not reveal itself during the time you're courting.
Well, that's why you need time. You need at least 6 months of just talking and watching and observing.
And some of the things you
for me, well, some people just get married after 3 weeks.
and
they're still married.
Yes, because something I also find out about this is it is difficult because sometimes the you in you will only reveal itself when
The real you.
Not really the real you. The other side of you, which you have not come to conceptualize, will reveal itself when you are faced with a particular situation. For instance, if I am rich and if I have money to meet up all my needs, and I do not understand what it is to be poor, there are things I might not even get to know because I have not been in that situation. And it is only when I'm in that situation I can say those things, and this is the reveal itself.
But you know what is interesting? I think that you can see a person's character even before they enter the situation. And you can almost predict what they're going to do. You can watch and observe how they think. Very, very important. If it happens to somebody else, or they're even watching the news and it's a similar situation, and how they respond to that. Just observe. Very, very important. It's just little things, they laugh at the downfall of somebody else. You just observe and wow, why would that be something you're enjoying? Just take your time before you get married. So it's not something you have to rush into and then rush out. I can't do this. You know what? You were. Observe. People are always telling you who they are. Maya Angelou says, when somebody tells you who they are, believe them. Don't say, no, that's not really you. No, you're not that kind of. That is you. You've told me exactly who you are. Maybe not in the exact words, say this is me, but by your actions, the way you respond, even by the way you talk to people. Like you just observe how you go to a restaurant and the person brings food. I drop it there. What's happening? Why is the food finished? No, it's not hot enough. What's happening? This is not what I ordered. You're observing. Like, okay, so this is how you respond when you're disappointed with something. It's not necessarily a big thing that reveals somebody's true character. So a lot of times just a little thing, you're just watching. Oh, okay, so this is how you're going to act.
And this is how you're going to respond.
This is you.
Yes,
this is you. People are always talking to you, this is me, this is me, this is me. And then you have to now choose, is this something I can live with? Or is this something that I can pray him or her into or out of? But you cannot overestimate your ability to change somebody. Only God can do that. So you have to just meet the person where they are and say, okay, this is it, then this is it.
Okay, lesson to marry the one who is already happy.
Oh,
so that it doesn't become your job. Marry the one who is already happy. So that it doesn't become your job. I want to hear from you.
So
I think to an extent it is our job to make the other person okay. Let me hear from you.
It is not. To put that level of responsibility on another human being is wrong.
Not fully.
Okay. I don't mind. I'm happy in your presence. Yes. I enjoy your company. But to say you wake up every morning and your job is my happiness is number one, giving you way too much power in my life. You cannot be the one that determines my joy. Why? You're just a human being like me. And then the responsibility on the person, eventually they will resent you. They will look at you and be like, why? So now I have to make her happy. I wake up in the morning, good morning dear, good morning my love. But why do you need all that? Okay, the Bible says, delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart. Psalm 37 verse 4. I highlighted it in the book because you need to first focus on receiving all that love from the Lord.
And it was something I pointed out from this lesson. So I think I will agree to you.
To an extent.
And also there was something I see that is also cultivated in this lesson too is this actually seems to be a man's responsibility. It is that is the reason why I said to an extent. It is the man's responsibility to make the woman happy because the Bible distinctly specifies the responsibility of the man in a home and that of the woman. To the man it says, love her the way Christ loved the church.
Did Christ make the church happy or did He save the church?
Is saving the church not making the church happy?
Well, if you want to really look at what contentment, happiness, what is a woman's understanding or a person's understanding of happiness is what you must really look at. Because to a certain level, I can make anybody happy by provision, making them comfortable. What do you like? Your favorite food? Just all those little things are what people mark as, I'm happy. But in the long term, is that anybody can do that for anybody. So that's why I'm always curious as when people say, he doesn't make me happy. What does that mean? All the things that you are marking as him making you, you can actually do for yourself.
There are two things I'm going to point out there. Biologically, the woman is made to be vulnerable. She is sexually vulnerable because she's likely to be in danger sexually.
Women are more prone to
that is the reason why I said that this lesson seems to be a man's responsibility because of
Is happiness security?
Happiness is security and also an expression of love. That is why, to me, I believe love there's nothing like unconditional love. I think it is a wrong conception of people to believe that love is unconditional. Love is conditional.
Yes.
Love is meant to be conditional. It conditions you to pattern your life in a certain way.
Absolutely.
Because you need to please the other person. Because love is sacrifice. The definition of the broader definition in just a singular word, what love is sacrifice. God defined his love by making sacrifice. God had to condition himself, and the condition
and John 3:16, God so loved
God so that he had to. Yeah, so I say this in the extent that this true love is conditioned. True love is conditioned.
Only God's love is unconditional. God did not say do 1, 2, 3 and I'll love you.
Let me say why I said God's love is conditional. It's in the essence that, yes, of course, we do not contribute to his expression of his love. But he had to condition himself by giving his only begotten Son as a sacrifice for his expression of love to us. Although we did not contribute to that.
Not at all.
He conditioned himself. It didn't please him. If he did, when Christ died, I think Christ died, he turned away. He couldn't accept what was happening to his son. So he had to condition himself. And I remember when I was going through this lesson too, something came into my head. I was trying to, if love is conditioned, the story of Adam and Eve, sometimes when we read the story just from the linear perspective, it seems like the woman was the reason behind the fall of man. That is why I point out to the responsibility of a man, specific responsibility of a man to a woman. To the man, it says, love her, and to the woman.
Well, Eve was deceived.
No,
Adam was not.
No, Eve wasn't.
Yes.
Let me say.
Adam wasn't. Adam knew fully well what was going on.
If love is.
And he was right there when the serpent was coming to Eve. You realize that Adam was standing right beside it. It wasn't like it was some far away.
I feel.
He was there.
I do not know if Adam was there.
He was.
This is the reason why I feel maybe is love is conditional and it's expressed mainly with actions and not just words. In the sense that for Eve to accept whatever thing the serpent or Satan was telling her, it would have taken a long time for them to have built an intimate relationship.
Between Eve and the serpent.
Yes. The reason why I'm saying that,
Women love words.
I know, yes, of course. I'm trying to look at from this point psychologically that for you to build a relationship with any woman, you need to give out a lot of words, and it takes time. For you to build intimacy. Yeah. Eve knew the consequences of eating fruit.
Not fully.
But she got aware of what would happen.
No, Eve onboarded into this program later in the program. Adam had been from the beginning. Yeah. So when you say that, Adam was very aware of what was going on. I think he just wanted to make Eve happy. I don't know.
Let's relate the story of Adam and Eve to us. If I say this is my wife, and I say to her that okay, I love her, or I'm trying to express love in ways to her, there are a lot of things she's going to know, and she's definitely going to know my weak points, my weakness, my flaws, and know my strong points too. So if we're going to look at it from this point, it also means that Eve understands so many things that God have told her, maybe not directly to her, but Adam must have related that, oh, woman, in this garden, this is the way things are done. This is what God told. Don't go this way. You can stay here. Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do this. I don't know why I have this funny.
You have a lot of questions to Adam.
Why I said it is, I just told it there, and it made me roll out that Eve had nothing really to do with the fall of whatever thing that happens to Adam. It was Adam's own fault. It takes time to build an intimate relationship. If Adam was truly in love with, I don't know if the word truly in love.
Really? You're just going to call out Adam like
why was he not there when the Satan was saying those
there. He was there.
It took a lot of time for
Adam was there. Why is Genesis 3? We have to bring out the Bible now. You want us to go there. Adam was right there.
I
Adam was not like farming something.
I think maybe he was just playing with the dogs and the other animals. Because you know Adam certainly had a good relationship with the animals.
Yeah, he had known them.
Yes, he known them. And the way the story of Adam and Eve falls out is Adam not just only gave the names to the animals, they also have a very good relationship with them. They could understand.
If they were saying, then they had a good relationship.
Yes, he could understand what they were saying, and they also could understand what he was saying. For him to have been able to look at their features and say, okay, you, because of these features, you're a fish. Because of these features, you're this. And they accept that, oh, I think this name fits me. They shouldn't have a good relationship. Maybe it was just with the animals and let Eve alone with Satan.
Adam is getting so much shade right now. On behalf of all Adam, wherever you are, we will ask you questions.
So I read something. I said it may be unconditional to the person expressing the. We talked about this. It may be unconditional to the person expressing the love, but to the person giving that love, it's conditional. So love is just to me, I say love is conditional. So I'm going to look at this.
Yeah, I think human beings are frail like that. We will love you as long as you treat us well, treat us right. But that's not the way that marriage is. Marriage is a choice. You have to choose. Once you've made a choice, this is my partner. You have to keep choosing that person every day, in every dimension that they show up as that day. Yesterday I might be very happy and pleasant. Today I might just have an attitude. But you're like, okay.
The amazing thing about marriage is you don't stop learning.
Yes. You don't graduate.
Every day is a new page. You learn something from your spouse.
There's no.
And something I want to look at. Let's look at lesson. I have a lot of. Let's look at lesson 5 first. Marry the one who makes you laugh. And this is beautiful in a way that, although we commonize the effectiveness of laughter to a person, and when I read this, I just sat down and tried to give a lot of recollection to what does laughter do in your relationship. And I said, okay, what I need to do, I went deeply to, and this is what I came up with. The United States National Library of Medicine and National Center of Technology of Information, in an article on the therapeutic benefits of laughter in mental health. And we're just going to list some of the benefits. Laughter strengthens your immune system, boosts mood, laughter diminishes pain, laughter protects you from damaging effects of stress, laughter inspires hope, keep you focused and grounded. So,
that's good stuff.
And you just imagine you're able to be the one to make the other person laugh. No matter the conditions, you just find a way to make us smile or you make him smile.
Yeah, make him relax a little bit.
Yeah, that would be great.
Because it's stress out here. If you live in Nigeria, you know that you need laughter.
Because this characterization is not, I don't think it's fine in any home or if you are in, I would not say maybe in fewer homes. I don't think, I can't remember any time I've ever made my wife laugh.
Oh, trust me, she's laughing.
Do you think so?
Oh, yes.
How?
Women are laughing all the time.
So
let me give you a scenario that women laugh. When she tells you, I don't think you should do this, and then you do it anyway, and then later you come and be like, oh my God, I should have done this. But you will not tell her, when you told me, you say, I should have done it, now I'm regretting what I did. She will not say anything, but she's laughing.
So what ways can, I think you have so many ways women can identify, or women can, you said they laugh in this way. I thought maybe laughter was just like maybe telling them something to crack them up.
To make them laugh.
So actions can also make them laugh.
Oh yes. In fact, actions make me laugh more than anything you can
so what
do
kind of actions can a man express to make I know it differs though because of different personality. I think there should be general actions that a man can
Well, telling jokes is great, but men are quite simple, and I think women over dramatize men. Like men are quite simple. They just need their football. They need food. See them. Just make sure that they are okay. The other room. Like I don't think men are that complicated. I think that men in general are peaceful people. If you just treat them nicely, well, the way they like, give them a lot of respect, a man won't give you trouble. Treat him like the person that he longs to be, the king that is in every man. Bring that out of him, and he won't stress you out. I think a lot of women just don't get it. Like,
men are very egocentric, and so women don't know that this is natural.
One of the top needs of a man is honor, if not the top need.
It is the top need.
Because if you are making a man feel less than a man, there's no way he'll be attracted to you. If you're making him feel like rubbish, and you see him, there's no banter, there's no friendliness. Men want to be their wife's friend. They don't want to be enemy.
What ways can a woman honor a man?
Oh my God.
Because I think sometimes I don't think a woman knows ways she needs to express herself to show honor to a man. And when you say it in terms of you don't honor me or you don't respect me, it kind of let us feel
I like this question.
So what ways?
One of the ways that you can honor a man is in your tone. Just in the way you communicate to him. A lot of women will communicate, maybe they'll talk to the husband and say, I want you to do this, and it's like, that they are ordering him to do this thing. You must change this light bulb, you must fix my car, you must buy me this, buy me that. He's not a child. So you have to be very careful when you're talking to him. This is a grown man that he doesn't have to be here, he doesn't have to do anything. The way you talk to a man is, I would say, it's probably about 80% of the honor we're talking about. How you make him feel when he's around you. Does he feel like a boy? Or does he feel like a man? Or does he feel like a child? All those things are inside of him. Every man has a boy, every man has a king in them. The way you talk to him brings out whatever you're trying to get out of them. So if you talk to him in that tone of, hey, always nagging, always, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, it won't work for you. It will always backfire. Men do not like to be treated like children, like boys. Talk to me like a man, respectfully. And there are many things I've been able to get away with in my marriage that I would never believe I would be able to say this, but it's the way I'm saying it. It's very respectful. It's never, I don't like the way you, that won't work for a man. Or you just put his defenses up and he can't even hear you anymore. So you calm yourself down first of all. And you speak to him respectfully. Hey, so and so is going to happen today. Would you mind? Would it be alright if we? Well, we're a team. It's not as if you're some person I cannot talk to. I married you for crying out loud, or I plan to marry you. So respect. So simple. It sounds simple, but that is one of the most effective ways to break a man down.
I want to ask you.
Just to help him just relax.
I'm going to ask you two questions now. One is, women funnily attached respect or honor to material possessions. And
that's a problem.
That is a problem too. And also,
so you have a very rich devil.
And one thing also, I think some women do not understand that appreciation is also a form of honor.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Those little things. Just the little things. Oh my goodness. You blow it up out of, oh my God, I can't believe you did X, Y, and Z. Thank you so much. That was amazing. And you find a man, and that thing in him will just like rise up. Oh, yes. Like, I want to do it again. How can I do it again to make you happy and make you talk like this? Because men, that's why I say men are not that complicated. Like, we all there, it's so difficult, doesn't communicate. Men don't communicate the way we communicate. Men are they're just very straightforward. The average guy is just straightforward. This is what I want, what I don't want. When I'm talking to my husband, I have to tell him, please don't solve the problem. I just want to talk.
You intentionally say.
I have to say that because immediately I just say this. You tell this solution calls for so we're done. So I've not even had the chance to even express all the issues, the reasons, the emotions behind why I feel like he just goes straight to solution. So I have to tell him, look, don't solve the problem. Just listen. Here's how I felt when she said this.
That means man of approach or some matter.
The approach. We're so different, men and women. But and not in a competitive way, in a complementary way. Because the strength of the man and the softness of the woman is so beautiful to watch when it's working well.
Okay, what advice would you give to someone or women who are attached honor or respect to material possessions?
It's shallow. That's very shallow because anything can happen. A man can lose everything. In this, especially in this economy, the way the world is structured now, at any point you can actually just lose that fortune. And then after that, what do you have? The only reason why you're honoring him is because he is a good provider. My goodness, what happens when he can't provide? Then he suddenly drops down from a 10 to a 1. Then you still have a marriage. What do you have? What do you then have without the possessions? Nothing. You just have a roommate. You just have somebody that, I just see you. You have to look at a man holistically. One of the things men love to do is provide. It's natural for a man to want to provide for his family. It's natural. There's nothing you can tell me about that. No, that's not true. Every man, a real man, he doesn't want you to be suffering. So by the time you're taking that away from him, you're putting his entire livelihood on just his providing nature. You've dropped him down to that, just a basic. There's so much more to him. He's a caring person. The reason why he's even providing is because he cares.
Of course.
Men may not express themselves as well as women do. But it's not the little things that they do. They'll make sure the school fees is paid. They'll make sure there's food on the table. These are the things that men do. But if you hinge his entire life on the fact that he's a provider, he will not feel that, so when I can't provide, will you even want to be with me? So that will make him kind of resent you.
What would you say to feminists? I don't think because that is real honor with this respect and honor.
The way feminism is defined now, it's so creepy to me. It's like it's equality in everything. What are you talking about? I don't want to be equal to what do you mean equality in everything? I don't want to have to go and be like going to a construction site because I can do it. I also got to be doing cement. I can carry. What are you talking about?
Most of them are basically
I'm not interested in
equality in outcome.
How gosh. I don't mind equality in okay, let's say if I
do not really think
I
do not really think
a job.
I do not really think that there's any level of equality when it comes to their biological structure, psychological.
But a lot of women are like, well, if he can, okay, like what's going on in California right now, and then and
we all know California for their wokeness. And it is affecting them right
now. It's affecting them so badly because you have.
One of the reasons that they affected them during this wildfire outrage was the equality and DI and whatever wokeness. They implemented it also in the fire department.
They sure did.
And so when it was needed for some persons going into a relationship with this conception that I am going into this relationship. What he is what I am. If he thinks he can provide, I can also do the provision. If he thinks he can do this. And some of them will go as far as stating when I need to give birth. I know of a woman I came across with, she said that it is when I'm done with my career and whatever thing I need to do before I decide to start giving birth. And no matter what the man tells her to do, okay, this is what I want. She doesn't really give a care about that. She said, I don't want you to.
I want what I want, when I want, and how I want it. So, and you want to be married? You want to stay married?
Okay.
Oh my goodness. But marriage is a team effort. It's not just one person calling all the shots. I mean, naturally, if it's going to be something that will jeopardize her health, then we let her make that choice and say, okay, well, maybe you should go ahead and have the children now, or not have the children now because it's going to affect your health in any way. But in terms of the delivery of the children and the children coming, I strongly believe that it's a family choice. And we're going to look at it holistically. Financially, where are we? Can we afford this? In terms of your physical, because time is ticking away. The longer you wait
when
for...
those boxes are ticked,
Yeah.
and the reasons why she doesn't want to do it because of her selfish gratification. I need to get my career, I need to achieve this, and it has to be me first before the kids come. And that becomes
one of the toughest kind of marriages are when two selfish people get married. Very, very tough, because you end up having a situation where I want my way, you want your way, and then we can't get to the middle ground. Yeah, we just can never get there, because it's all about what I want, it's all about what he wants. Where is that now, that middle ground? So when you're getting married, when I'm giving people advice, you have to really, really come into the teen mentality. Oh, so maybe I have the kids early, and then I go back to school. Or maybe we make a choice together and say, okay, you know what, finish your school, and then we are going to have kids. But it's always coming together to make those decisions. It's not just what I want. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work well. And when you're practicing that type of marriage, you have a lot of resentment on one person or the other. It ends up leading to resentment. And I also believe that because of the time factor for children, for bearing children, it's very tricky. After a certain age, you start having more and more complications. So you have to kind of do what you have to do while the time is good, where you have the best chance of giving birth to the healthiest children, and the finances are there. You do what you can. Earlier is better for family. For example, now when we got married, I finished my first degree in 2000.
wow.
I did not go back for my master's until 2022.
That's
22 years later. And in that time frame, I got married, I had my kids, and then I thought, okay, now my head is on, okay, I've done what I need to do. So now I can do that. It's like the Proverbs 31 woman. You know, a lot of women are like, oh, I want to be like the Proverbs 31 woman. She does this, she does that, she does. And I read that story a lot. I read it again, and I went to meet my mother. I said, Mom, who is this woman? How is this possible? She's doing so many things. And she said, well, she's a great woman. But even if she's doing all those things, she's not doing all those things at the same time. And a lot of women are putting themselves under pressure to do everything. Yes. I must do my career. I must get my PhD. I must start my business. No. Calm down. You don't have to do everything now. But it takes a certain level of maturity to understand, okay, you know, I can finish my degree, I can get married, I can have the children while my body is still ready for all that. Because it just gets, from 35 on, you start getting Down syndrome, gets the percentage of that gets higher, complications, all these kind of issues, you know, blood pressure, all those stories. It just gets higher and higher the longer you wait. So I said, we have the kids. And then I said, okay, let us now. I have a little bit of breathing, they're a little bit older now. Let me go ahead and go for the master's. Well, this was an agreement. It wasn't something that I said, you know what, I don't know, this is where I want, it was my way or the highway. It was an agreement between us. Okay, we're going to have kids, we're going to do what we need to do. Time is ticking away. Because I didn't get married when I got married at 30. So by 35, I was done with children. Because I knew that after that, it's going to get more and more complicated to have children. And I just didn't want a situation where my selfishness has caused me to have a child that has issues. Or because I wanted to do career, where are you running to? I feel like I need just constantly telling women, especially these women, these feminists, the way my way, calm down, do the needful. Bishop and I were talking about a lady this morning. He said she's in her 40s, and she came and she told me, I just want to have a child now. Now I'm ready to have a child. She's not, no husband in sight, no kind. I'm not ready to have a child. This is where I am now in my life. Is that natural order? What? Because you were so focused on Now you didn't have time for a relationship to build yourself up, to get ready to be married. Now she's just out to go straight to child. Stress, problem now. Because the society don't look at you like, there's no husband, you just want to start having children.
And sometimes they don't pay attention to
time is ticking.
What the society say, for as long as they've been able to achieve their desires. And their desires is, I need to be the best in whatsoever pursuit I have. And because, why I also say this, I wrote it in one of the points, I think probably should be the best ones. Yeah. Getting married to the right person may and may not help you to achieve or actualize your purpose. Because everyone has a purpose. There's a reason why you get created. And as you grow old, you're supposed to be able to identify the purpose. Why are you here? What role do you need to play for the few time you're here? What are you going to do?
So
you need to find this purpose. And one of the ways you need to find it, or one of the ways of what helps you to find this purpose, you have things that becomes, you have passion for. You're passionate about an idea, you're passionate about something. This drives gives you an idea of what's your purpose is defined. And what once you're able to define these passions, or these things you have passion for, it propels you to finding your purpose. And some people do not differentiate between my career and what the purpose I am here for. And I just pay attention because of the economic situation. I pay attention to my career.
The economical situation is tough though.
It is tough everywhere.
It's tough though.
Though it's defined in different proportion, but it's tough.
Yeah, so.
It is tough. Okay, now, and let's say, marry the one who believes in your dreams. Marry the one who believes in your dreams. Dreams like, you sleep and you wake up and you have a dream.
No, not weird revelations. No.
Because sometimes people do have weird revelations. And what is a definition?
It's really like marrying a person who believes in your potential, who sees. Like, I wanted to have a master's, and I discussed that with my husband. But I knew that also, the particular time I was getting married, I had not done the master's at that point. I knew that this has to be something that we have to discuss because it's something I really want to have. And so he believed in that dream. He understood that it's something that was important to me.
Yeah.
And
passionate about.
Yeah, it's something I wanted, I really wanted.
Wanted it in form of an achievement,
yes.
Or self-gratification.
Yes, it's something I wanted to have. I wanted to say, I've done my master's. And it's something that my family really believed in education. And so it was just something I felt I want this. I'm not used to do anything, but I want it. And it's something I wanted even before I met him. And I started working as soon as I finished my first degree. Because you know that my dad died in 98. I was done with school in 2000, and I started working immediately. Because it wasn't a situation where you're like, there was not so much provision like that the way people think there is. I started working, I moved to the States when I was about 14, 15. I moved in with my sister, we were together. But my father was a very, very strict disciplinarian. So he would provide you with school fees, rent. That's it. If you want to have clothes, if you want to have nice, like designer Prada, Polo, all those Calvin Klein, that's on you. If you want to have food, it's just, at that point, I started working at 16. I was still in high school when I started working. I was just talking to my husband about it this morning. I said, a lot of people don't really understand the kind of person that he was. Because everything was ministry for my father. Everything was like, everything is ministry. Remember, he would want to tell you, remember the ministry. Remember. Like, that's why he would be able to do 90% of his income as tithe. Everything was building people, building things. And so, once I got to America, I was like, okay, I need to be working. And then he passed on when I was about 1998. And my mother, everything just thrust on my mother. We didn't realize just how much my father was giving to the ministry, to BIU, to make all these things, to faith many plagues, just make everything work. We didn't know the extent to which this man was doing all these things. So the accounts were not full. Like, I just, oh my God. So when I look at my mother now, she's such an amazing woman for what she has been able to accomplish and keep together. Because there was nothing. So there was some time I was just like, where's our school fees coming from? She's like, well, I'm leaving God. So you're just there. So as soon as I finished high school and I finished university, by God's grace, I just started working. So I ended up just working and making like, I didn't want to be a burden to her because everything was going into, because that's time we're trying to get BIU accredited and all those kind of, and you see many things were happening at the same time and everything was just on her. So I just told myself, okay, this is not the time for me to be looking money for master, just work. So I worked. I was just working. I had several jobs. From high school I started working. By the time I entered into university, I had like 2 jobs. I was working, doing AutoCAD because I'm a designer. I do AutoCAD. I was doing AutoCAD, freelance AutoCAD for designers all over the city. I was also working in a restaurant. All just to make sure that her only burden for me was school fees. So that she can just do what she needs. Because it's a lot. If you look at the whole thing, it's a lot on one woman. And then Bishop Wale came to Nigeria, just started living here. Like everybody just shifted. And both my sisters moved out of the United States. So it was just me. I was 18 years old by myself living in America. What are you going to do? I had to start working. And so we finished up school and everything, and I just did not do the masters. And I just said, I'm not going to add that to what's going on. I'm just going to work and see how it's going to go. And then I got married. And then I said, okay, now I'm married. I explained to her, I want to have this masters. I knew that was something that meant a lot to my mom. And I knew that it was something that my dad would have liked for us to have. Because he also loved education. So I said, okay, I'm married now. This is my dream. I want to do my master's. And my husband said, okay, that's fine. We're gonna make sure that happens for you. That's why you have to marry the right person. He really believes in your dream. He wasn't his dream. He doesn't mind. He already had his master's.
What I think in your own situation is there's an understanding.
Yeah.
And there's a level of exposure possibly as a result of the experiences you gain while working in the environment you find yourself at that time that exposed you to a lot of information. So you understood whatever thing you wanted you to understand. Despite supporting, okay, we are going to, definitely going to have a master's, but I think we should put a hold to it now because we need to do this, we need to do this, we need to do this.
Yeah,
sometimes
you look at everything and say, okay, I'm 30.
But sometimes people do not fall into the space of accepting things like this. So I need it now, And so that thing used to wait for me to achieve this. But one thing I've come to realize is the marriage units can also help you to define your purpose. Can help you to see in a broader scope what you really need for yourself.
Oh yeah, the right partner is crucial.
That is where the right partner is really can.
It can make or break your entire life. If you marry the wrong person and they just turn the trajectory, like this lady in the first chapter we're talking about now, she's a graduate from Univen. I mean, well, she had a lot of potential. If you see her now, you won't believe it's even the same person.
And do you feel that the man has a role to play?
Huge role.
Don't you think she put herself in a position?
She sure did.
Maybe because
wrong choices.
Apart from wrong choices, what will make you enter? I feel like that is a contract. What will make you enter such a contract? Allowing someone to make payment, probably in the course of the relationship, when they begin the relationship. The reason why he was paying those school fees was in his head. He
was trying to buy her.
In as much as buying, because this same scenario happens almost all the time. Yeah, you find or you see a boy who have trained up a girl to a certain level, or help her get into a certain level in her education, and later she tells the man, I do not want it anymore.
What was the understanding?
That is what I'm saying. There is an understanding, and to him, indirectly feel okay, I am investing on her because I know at the end of the day she becomes my wife. And when you get a no, and don't worry, I'm going to reform you, but he can turn that man to become a beast. Such can turn a man to become a beast. And one thing about a man is when he realizes that I'm being used,
nobody wants to be.
No matter the stage he gets to understand that, it can affect the way he responds to you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Nobody wants to feel like they're being used. And so, ladies, when you're taking it's not like you're taking advantage of the man. He's offering, nothing is free. Nothing is free. So when he's saying, look, I'm going to pay for your school fees, he's making an investment, long term. I'm going to pay for her school, I'm going to basically take charge of her welfare. Okay. So he's expecting that, you're going to get married, you're going to have my children, we're going to be together, I'm investing in, I'm seeing 10, 20 years ahead. But she's just seeing someone that will just help me now. It depends on the lady too. Is that the kind of person that she is? Like, you've helped me think I don't want any more of her. Or do you have like someone that understands the arrangement and says, okay, well, I'm willing to make plans to have you in my life long term, but I need you to make this investment. That's the condition we're talking about. When you say not the condition, the people are telling me, well, this is what I need, that this is what you can provide, this is how it's going to work for us. And the us is very important. So it's when she says, well, I don't want this anymore. Where does he go from there? How does he now balance out himself? Like, so what happens to the investment and not my time? And he's working hard to provide all this. Where does he go from there? So it means that she never really believed in this dream that he had.
Should a relationship be defined by what you
want, or what you need, or there are agreements that you have?
So very much so. Agreement.
There has to be. There has to be an agreement.
It has to be defined as
very clear. You have to look at the values that you both share and say, you know what? These are the values, this is where I'm going. I'm trying to figure out what chapter it is in the book. I said married person that is on the same page, they have the same map. I'm trying to remember which chapter that is, but you have to marry someone who is going, yes, lesson 27. Marry the one who is going in the same direction as you and has the same map. So the challenge is not having that same map. You don't have to, I'm going here, you're going there, but let's just be together for now, then eventually it's not going to work. You must be going in the same direction. What does that mean? You have the same values. You have the same understanding and perspective on life. You know what you're looking for. Both of you are, this is how I want to raise my children. This is what financial security means to me. What does it mean to you? How do we save our money? How do we spend our money?
Should everything be defined very cultural?
Oh yes, as much as you can. I hate surprises. That's why you must have those conversations. You must talk and you must say, this is what I want. This is how it's going to be. Or this is who I am. That's why I don't believe people getting married very, very young. And you don't even know yourself. What do you want? What do you like? What do you value? You're 23 years old. I'm getting married next week. What are you talking about? Do you even know what kind of eggs you like? Do you like boiled egg or fried egg? Do you even know? Do you like egg with tomatoes and onions? Or you know what do you like plain drum egg? Do you know yourself at all? And then I'm getting married next week and we just love each other. What are you talking about? What are you talking? Do you know yourself? I didn't get married till later on, not because I couldn't get married earlier. I had a lot of different options, great options. Guys are wonderful. Guys are great. But I want to get to know myself enough to know what I can tolerate, what I cannot.
Yeah, sometimes people say that it is better to marry when you're very young.
Yeah, so you're stuck.
There's nothing else. You're going to learn everything as you.
Yeah. Well, you can't be 100%, but you can know enough about yourself to know that this is not going to work for me.
That's right.
This is not. I don't believe in this. This is not that. This won't work. Yeah, marriage. You need to know yourself enough to get into it.
Marry the one who helps you. Okay, marry the one who helps you to do.
Stop complaining.
Okay.
It's true now.
Marry the one who helps you
It's
stuff.
true.
But
It comes down to value.
It does come down to value, but at the same time, I think we find it wanting is in the area when you do stuff and you are not appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
And just little stuff at home, you help the kids with it.
Mm-hmm.
You would have let it go, just let it be and allow to do it. But you decide, okay, let me do this because maybe when she's back, she'll be tired. Okay, let me help. Oh, she's cooking, let me help with the dish.
Wow.
Or let me help with this and let me help.
Are you a Nigerian?
I do a lot of stuff at home and sometimes one makes me like, okay, I think I need to stop. It is when I'm not appreciated.
Yeah. Nobody wants to feel used or unappreciated. Especially when you feel like you're going out of your way to make the person comfortable or ease their problem. So yeah, it's one of those things where marry someone who helps you do stuff without complaining.
I would complain if you do not appreciate. I will let you know. I can't keep such in my mind.
Oh, you have
I won't bother myself with such. I will let you know.
That will be the last time you do that. I'm done.
I'm done. I'm not doing it anymore.
Get it.
Sometimes they come this way and say, it is your responsibility or is this not our children?
I know.
You should
It's our children. Now we bond them together.
Now we bond them together.
Yes.
That's wrong.
Okay, let me put it like this. When I say marry the one who helps you do stuff without complaining,
Marry
let
the
me
one
tell
who helps you do stuff.
without complaining.
Okay.
Let me tell you where that came from. I've been married for 15 years. So when you're like, they will do it, but then they're like, must it be now? It's so annoying because I'm doing it every day. All of it, just this one time, help me do this. Just help me. I'm watching it when I'm doing this and I'll do it. It's just, it's really about the teamwork.
Do you think that is complaining? I don't see that as being complaining.
They will drag. A form of complaining is drag it. Okay, help me change.
Because at the end of the day, we'll be
let me help me change. You will say to me, but with so much attitude. Oh my God, I have to stop what I'm doing now. I was so busy before. I was in church. I've already been doing this all day, and I have to come home and change the light bulb. Oh God, just change the light bulb.
I think it is natural for God to go
through. Just enough. Can you just put fuel in the car? That's why for the past 3 days, just spoil the car. Oh my God, I'm so busy. You have to the meeting at 3, and you're not meeting at 7. Just spoil the car. That's all I'm asking. I'm not leaving your children in the market somewhere. They come home every day. They eat food every day. Come on. It's really about the teamwork, though. I think most men, if you talk to them nice enough, they'll pretty much do anything you ask. It's not that they're not that wicked. They're not wicked people.
There's another spike you gave in your let's say 13. Marry the one who thinks you are beautiful in and out.
Yeah.
And I'll give you a background why I said there's a spike there.
Yeah.
The aim, to me, I attribute it to character, quality,
yes,
and probably your personality,
yes,
values, and everybody. And the out, I define it or I attribute it to physical features, structures, and the way you appear. Mm-hmm. And why I gave this distinct attribution is based on the fact that sometimes you, whether I would like it or not, this is just factual. The first thing that draws a man's attention to a woman is her appearance.
Men are very visual.
Very, very. Our visual cortex is very, very effective. We appreciate what we see. And sometimes we want what we see to remain just the way it is for as long as it is. It is possible. And one thing I find it very...
it's possible.
Yeah, it is possible. Yeah. The one thing I find...
For as long as it's possible.
As long as it is possible.
Yeah.
The one thing I find appalling to me is when you get married to this beautiful damsel.
Here it comes. Here we go. I know
suddenly, she becomes something else.
Hey,
tired of
what happened?
Tired apart for chair.
Hey.
You go. And become the opposite of what you saw. And you were like, and you loved her when she was just figure 8 or figure 10 or figure 12, and now she's
Okay, you're still okay with 12? 12 is
everything everybody has his own. But what happens? Why suddenly once you marry, this change of attitude for you to pay attention to? Women fails in paying attention to their physical features, and what the rest of with that is saying, once you just go like this, no, it is. Although I know there's hormonal changes,
there are some changes
but there are things you can always put under control.
Under control.
Yes, because I would want. I'm speaking for all men. I will tell you, we may hide this feeling, or I don't want her to feel this way. I don't want her to feel that I'm no longer interested.
Tell her, let's know.
But sometimes when
give
you
us the inside track.
Okay, let me do that. The inside, you feel like, I wish you would just be on those jeans I saw on the first day. I wish you would just be on those gowns I saw on the first day. I wish you would just keep on appearing the way I saw the first day. And you don't want to tell her, because you know, when I tell her this shit, you will have a misconception of what I'm trying to say. So let me just hold this feeling for myself. I don't want her to feel that I love her less. And you kill this feeling.
But if she starts resenting her a little bit. So
how are we going to solve this? From the women, what do you think the women needs to do? They should stop hiding under I don't born the king, and the king calls my belly big.
First of all, ladies, you have to realize that your husband wanted to marry you. It's not like he just happened to stumble into you and just, let's get married. He likes you, that's why he married you. And so maybe you're feeling self-conscious because you put on some fat, a little bit here, a little bit there, and you don't feel as confident as you used to feel like when you were especially. So the idea of putting on those jeans and you just feel like you're just like a laughing stock, because you're not going to look the same, you're not going to feel the same. But ladies, have confidence in yourself. Even if you may not be the size 8 that you wear when you got married, you're not like a 14, 16, borderline 18, maybe you're 18, 20. Make the most with what you have and just let the beauty within you come out. Wear your jeans, wear your just leave. That your husband is happy. Your husband doesn't hate you. He likes you, and so he wants to show you up. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't want to hide you in one corner. He has one hand. You try to make the family work. So don't be so self-conscious. Let me start with that. Don't be so self-conscious that I'm not who I used to be, and I'm not as beautiful as I used to be. You're beautiful in your husband's eyes. He's happy with you. He doesn't hate you. He chose you.
Then you know that some women,
some of it comes from that lack of
when you tell them I love you, they'll feel you're laughing at them because of the new thing as a result of
social media has put us under so much pressure. The average woman is not the size 4.
And what I don't really pay attention to is body grooming. You don't pay attention to your hair anymore. You don't wash it when you're supposed to.
Hey, sir.
You don't
wash.
Before I met you, you apply makeup.
You don't
when you sweat,
ladies, don't be offended by what he's saying. Listen for what he's really saying. Like, I know that as I just want somebody that will be offended. Oh my God, look at him, what he's saying. Listen to what he's really saying. He's not trying to put you down. He's just telling you the truth. Men will tell you the truth. Don't be so offended. Men will tell you the truth. This is how you are. This is what happened. I don't like it. Straight up. Don't be offended. Listen and hear what he's really saying. What he's really saying is, you are not taking care of yourself, and that makes me look bad.
So,
I look like I am not able to take care of my family because you look like crazy all the time. And that's not a good thing.
I don't want to take you out.
I don't want to take you out. You're not. Yes, you're not displaying.
You don't pay attention to yourself.
You don't care anymore. And why don't you care anymore? You should care.
To go out with the
wrong clothes. You should care. You should put the effort into yourself, ladies. Like, stop looking crazy when you go out. Like, just take 5 minutes, brush your hair, put on the lipstick, do you, like, not even because it's your husband, just for your own sake. And trust me, it's going to pay off in so many ways. Men want to show you off. You are their trophy. You are what they have worked hard for. They are excited about you. Don't downplay your wonderful. Women, please stop with the rapper. I don't know how to say. If I could, I would ban rapper from.
See, there's something that I think.
I would just ban it. Like, the other ways to get around comfort without rapper. Because rapper just brings it's a mindset. Once you're with the rapper, you're done. Yeah, I'm not doing it. I'm done. I'm sweaty. I don't care. Please care.
Yeah, before you got married, when you go to bed, you were
care.
Oh my God,
beautiful too. I mean, come on.
And now,
come on. Now you don't even. You just tell your rapper. You don't leave your head there like I don't care. You don't care.
Is it not important to dress well before going to bed? Don't dress well, like just
groom.
Body grooming.
Yeah, it's important. But women don't feel like it's because of you. Do it for yourself. You're worth it. I wish I could do a class on just your own self. Don't because I have children now, I keep on putting the children before myself. They have to make sure they've done this, they do this. Don't forget yourself in the mix. A lot of women get caught up in children, especially when children come in, and they just get lost. They don't even know who they are. I'm just the mother of Abigail and Andrew, and I have to make sure that they have what they need. They're going to school, they have their uniforms, they're eating properly, they're doing their homework, they're respectable children, they're children that respect people when they go outside, they are how do you say it now, from a good, they look at children from a good home. Like all that women get lost in that. So women, I want to really, really appeal to you. Don't let that rob you of the essence of who you are. Because then you just get lost.
You're going for school home, you forget to pay attention to yourself.
It's not so much about the husband, it's really where are you? Where are you ladies? What happened? Like don't let that happen to yourself, because once that happens you just start resenting. Eventually you resent the children, you resent your husband, you resent marriage, you just be frowning on them. Like, why are you always frowning? Why are you always angry? Because you don't put yourself inside the mix at all. You're the last person to eat, you're the last person to take a shower. Why? If you need to wake up earlier, just groom, get yourself ready, put yourself in a state of mind where you can give from somewhere.
Exactly.
It's so important for women. Like I guess I'm gonna have to talk about it on my Instagram or something, because women just lose it. They just have to, they're like, I cannot hold it all together, so let me just do what I can for the kids, do what I can for my husband and my home, and then I'll put myself last. And eventually it affects your health, your mental health, your approach to life. Everything just changes, and it affects the home.
Yes.
Everything just drags down. That's what. Yeah, the children see that you're not happy, so everyone's cautious around you. You're snapping at everybody. Take some time for yourself. No, it's not about my husband doesn't. You as a person, you were somebody before you got married. You were a full personality. You had your flash, you had your flair, things that you liked. You cared about yourself. Don't stop that because of marriage.
It makes sense to a man when you.
It means you have given up.
So if you don't give up,
she has just given up. Yeah, she's given up. She doesn't care anymore. I don't care. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Okay, let me ask this.
Why am I scared?
You shouldn't be. Marry the one who won't hold your past.
Hey! That's the last chapter. I saved that for the end. Yeah. You want them, okay. The thing about marriage is that everyone has a past. And that's how I start the chapter. Everyone has a past. And so sometimes when people, when we talked about in the beginning when you said you don't put your best foot forward. Some people don't tell you everything that has happened to them because they don't want you to reject, fear of rejection. But the truth of the matter is, by the time you get into marriage, everything will eventually come out. You want to make sure that you're marrying somebody who understands that I have passed, you have passed. I had a whole life before you. When you came into my life, I was already grown. I wasn't like 3 when we decided to get married. I was in my 20s, 30s later on. But the truth is, everybody has a past. And if you're going to be holding my past against me, every time we have an argument, you say, well, it's not you that had 3 abortions. well, then you don't really value the me that I am now, the me in Christ at all. That's not even happening. You just look at me like, so it becomes a tool for you to bring me down and to kind of cage me into this box. Like, well, your value is only limited to this.
Are you advising women or couples or people to tell one another, tell their past about what they've experienced or what they've been through, or it's something that they should just keep to themselves? Or there are things you need to reveal, or there are things you need to keep them, because sometimes telling
if you don't give all the details,
telling it all might.
It hurts sometimes.
Not everyone has the
maturity
to read such information. So
I wouldn't give all the details, specifically if you know the kind of person that you're married to, that you know they can't handle it. But let it not be. I don't like being surprised by maybe a family member will come over and say, "Oh, she was married. She was married in '95. What?" And I'm just hearing, "What? Wait a minute. I don't know who you married, how the marriage ended, what exactly happened."
But you should have the basics.
I should know that let's say you moved to Germany and you got married for papers, or you moved to America, you got married for papers, and you've come back to Nigeria now. That whole thing is done. You got the papers, you're now a citizen or whatever, and you come back to Nigeria and we meet and you're like, "Oh, okay, let's get married." No, that's great. I should know
about that.
I should know. And we don't know who she is or what happened, but I should know that you were married in '95. I should know that. I don't like that shock of finding out from some auntie that just told me, after we got married when I don't like that. But the reason why I won't say 100,000% disclosure, because some people, like we said, can handle it. But there should be an awareness of what happened. There's some disclosure is necessary for just about everything. I won't go into all the details of what happened, but I should know that you moved to the States when you were 18, you got married when you were 19, you got your papers by 25, you're back to Nigeria now, you're 38 or 35, you want to get married, we're getting married. I should know that. Holding that against you is not fair. I don't know what the circumstances were for you that made you move to the States, made you marry that particular lady. I don't know the circumstance. And it's not fair to hold that against you and now say, well, you're not a man of character because that's not for me to say. That's really between you and God, because as far as I'm concerned now, we're in a new chapter of the book. Everybody's like, the 3 chapters of this book. In chapter 1, 2, and 3, maybe it was when you were in the States and you got married, and maybe you were even in a gang. I don't even know how deep, But where you are now is where we are. And so I'm ready to work with that.
That one goes back to, should one evaluate who you want to get married to based on their past?
Yes.
And take a decision
Can you handle it?
Take a decision based on that.
Yes.
And when I'm now in Christ.
Yes. It's part of your life. Is it something that I feel I can live with? Let's say you went to jail, you killed somebody, and you spent about 10 years in jail. You're done. The state has released you, you're free to live your life. You tell me, look, before I met you, I killed somebody. I've served my time. I'm now I'm now reborn in Christ. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. That's not who I am anymore. You shared this with me. This is still something that's on your record. It's not something that's going to go away. Yeah, it's there. So can I live with knowing that I am married to a once convicted criminal? Can I live with that? Because it's going to come up. Yeah, it's going to come up. It's going to it's going to come up somewhere. Will I have the emotional fortitude to say, well, that's who he was, that's not who he is? Is that something I can live with if it does come up? You have to ask yourself this question. That's why you have to know yourself when you get married, not just the entire marriage, just see how it is. Do I have what it takes to bear that kind of weight? Can I live with that? yes or no. You must ask yourself. And if the answer is yes, go right ahead. But if you feel like your friends will bring it up one day and you can't handle it, oh my God, and you don't be ashamed, you not look at him one kind of, then don't marry him.
And I have this question.
Don't do
it. People do not pay attention to prospects anymore when it comes to marriage. Okay, or pay attention to beginning small.
it.
In beginning small, you know that, okay, this person has future. I think he has potential. I believe if we just work together and start putting things in the right places, there's a chance that we would we'll be up there so maybe so in a few years from now. And now, what is paramount in our society? Maybe because of the economical situation, people pay more attention to what you have. How is what you have going to benefit me? I don't
What you're bringing to the table.
What? Okay. I do not want to suffer too much. I do not even want to suffer. And I am there because now your feelings or your love or your reasons or your intentions why you want to come in is because of what you're seeing. And you're reading life based on what you're seeing. Forgetting that life plays games with you. And some situation can happen tomorrow and it becomes the opposite of what you're saying. And one of the reasons why I think we have this prevailing marriage failure is as a result of people get into this marriage based on what they see. And when they are faced with challenges, they crumble. The marriage, because marriage is planted on the surface, on baseless, on a weak foundation, yes, correctly now, on a weak foundation, not concrete. And when these situations, which definitely we apply, it can come in different ways. It's life, can be health challenges, not really finance. Most of the times we pay attention to finance, can be health challenges. And comes with not even health challenges on your spouse, can be health challenges on his family and the member in his family, and it becomes a challenging time for him. And if you're not ready enough, and if the reasons why you're into it is not rooted, it's shallow, it becomes a problem. If you take the statistics on reasons why we have this prevailing high rates of marriage failure in society, I can tell you that 90% are baseless, factual reasons. Baseless. Because today had this, tomorrow is not having this. This is health issues and something. And you just call it quits. What about those of us in Christ? How are we going to propagate ourselves to position ourselves so that when you mount yourself in this position, so when life happens to you, which is certain, you being in Christ does not stop life from happening to you. Well, what it does is give you the realization that you have hope. This situation is not going to
some tools to get through it.
Exactly. So, what is your advice to those who maybe now they are going through difficult times or life is happening to them and they're trying to call it quits based on what is happening to them now?
When we got married, we didn't have a generator. And
nobody will believe that.
No. Well, we had told ourselves that we're not going to rely on anyone. We're just going to do what we can, what we have. And so for a whole year, the first year of marriage, I didn't have a generator.
How were you able to cope with that?
I had a little romantic candlelight dinner. It's all about perspective. It's all about perspective.
You see, in your situation differs. Your situation, I believe, the environment you were at the time, while growing up, helped a lot. And probably the experience and the interaction we had with people reveals what they've gone through, and you use their experience to pattern the life. Not everyone is fortunate like this, and we're able to say, okay, I think this man, I will just stay with him and manage with him. I think the future maybe looks bright. I'll just stay by his side.
I liked the way he thought. That was what was very important to me. I knew that he would not be broke. I just knew it. It's the way he thinks. That's why you must, as a man thinks, so is he. But I would say, you must really get to know the person. And can I live with this person and their values? How do they think? how do they operate? He's a very disciplined person, my husband. So I'm not as disciplined as he is. So when it comes to financial spending and saving, he's very disciplined. He doesn't mix money. He has always been like that. He's a tither. As soon as if any income comes, he pays tithe immediately. Just believes God has given this to me. God needs to thank you. He's like, thank you, Lord. Thank you for making this possible. He's very, very disciplined. So when we got married, and he wasn't. When I was talking to him about when we build our house, he would look at me like, what are you talking about? He had no clue how he's going to build the house, but I already knew that we're going to build a house, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. I just knew because I had studied him. I knew the kind of person that he was, and I liked him. I loved him as a person, loved a great person, but I really liked the way he done it. And even when we started talking, I said, even if we never get married, I've made a wonderful friend. This is something that I want to have in my life, no matter in whatever way or form, if it's friendship, if it's marriage, whatever it is, I want this person in my life. I just liked the way he thought. So a lot of ladies will meet a guy and they'll say, he's driving a G-Wagon.
A majority of the things ladies are mentioned as what they want in a man, things you see with your eyes. I want him to be tall, I want him to be handsome, I want him to be black, I want him to have these.
He must be taller than me.
Based on what I want and what I want. And nobody really talks about values.
No. It's just not, in our culture today, you just don't see it happening. You just see a lot of shallow value, like, oh, she looks a certain way, so I want to marry her. That's just what I like the way she looks. Let's get married. Not, can she be with you when you're sick, when your family has issues, when this is happening, does she have all those things in place? You must get to know the person. So we didn't have a house, we were living in an apartment, we were just doing what we needed to do. But I knew that this person has potential. I knew that I liked this person. And so my value, I had to ask the Holy Spirit to really help me. Before I got married, I said, because I had a very wrong value system. The things I thought were great were like, when I look at them now, I'm like, what was great about? I used to think that, oh, guys with dreads are so wonderful. I don't dreads. When I look at them, I'm like, they're so like, what is happening? It doesn't mean anything. But I just thought that they're just cool. They're just cool guys. They're just cool, you know. And I just had so many, my body was so warped. And so I had to tell them, I said, you know, Lord, because I was just making bad decisions after bad decisions in relationships. And I finally just took a breath, say, you know, I can't do this. Lord, I keep making the wrong, because my value system is wrong. You need to give me a value system that makes sense for the kingdom, like that makes sense on many levels. It has to be something that, if my children are sick, can pray over my children. This is something I have to value. Somebody that understands money, that knows how to save. I have to value this. If not, because of the way I am, that's why you have to get to know yourself. The way I am. Oh, somebody else come and say, oh, Pastor, yeah, I'm having a challenge with this and this. I'll just give you the money. Here you go. Here's the money. I just got paid. Here's half of my salary. Go and pay your children's fee. Pastor, what are you doing? We have a plan. So I knew that I had to marry somebody that was very disciplined in that aspect. So we had a lot of advanced decisions that we made when we first got married. We will not do this unless this is in place. We will not have this unless this is here. If I must give money to somebody, you must be the one to give the person. You must be aware of it. Or there's a certain limit to how much I can give without having to consult you. If I want to say I want to give, somebody comes and just for example, 10,000 is going to be cap what I'm giving without telling you anything. Anything beyond 10,000, we must have a conversation. How does it affect this other thing? Because we're together, it's a team effort. How does it affect A? How does it affect B? How does it affect C? He's that kind of guy. So I had to ask God, help me to have that kind of value. You have to change my value system. You have to change. I don't want my value to be someone who's flashy, has a nice car, already has a house, because that would have been so easy for me. Oh yeah, it's already sorted. So God had to help me change that. It's a prayer. It's not just it doesn't come naturally, especially in this environment, in society.
And that is what I was trying to drive
You
at.
pray about it. You say, God, help me, help my value.
Sometimes,
Help me.
the reason why I always
me.
make mention of reposition.
Because society is very ready to just tell you, this is what you don't need all those values, discipline. He has a G-Wagon, he has a guy, everything is sorted. This is the one.
You know, finding someone who has this value depends on how you position yourself. If it's what you want, you go for it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you do not know what you value, you don't know your value system,
That's
you don't know the right.
Help me, Lord, to have. I'm not smart enough to make this major decision on my own.
Don't you think that most people who goes or indulge or who wants to marry or settle down have a picture of the kind of person they want? Not the picture God gives them, not what God wants for them.
I never wanted to marry a pastor.
I wanted to ask you that.
I never. When I was 12 years old, I wrote my mother a letter and I was talking to her daughter that I would never marry. I would never marry a pastor. Their work is so demanding. That is never home. You know well, but that's not my life. And God had to really help me, because by the time this person came into my life and he came in the coat or in the covering of a pastor, that's not who he is 100% of the time. Yeah, he's a pastor, yeah. But it's not like his entire life just pastor. Every day we wake up to no, that's not our life. But I had to ask God to help me, because he was checking so many boxes off of my values. Now after I asked God to help me to have real values. And so I said, the only problem I think here is this pastor thing. And so God was like, are you going to forget everything else that means so much to you that he's checked off just because of this pastor? So I had to go and talk to several women that were married to pastors. I did do full research. I'm sorry, how is this pastor thing? Can I do this? And I had to ask him a lot of questions. How do you value time with your family? Because the way my dad had structured his life was very, very much ministry. So he was gone a lot. And because of the position that he was in terms of being a pioneer for the gospel and evangelism in Africa, and representing the black man to the world and making us look like people that could be, he had so much work to do. So he was hardly ever around. He was just always gone. He would look at something here, bring it to Nigeria, bring it to Benin, and say, okay, we have this kind of music in America, let's bring it to Freda Arena. We have this kind of school, let's do this kind of thing here. It was a lot of work. He was doing a lot. He was bringing a lot of internationals to the Bible school, to his office. So he had a lot. He had
no family time.
Hardly enough. I can't imagine sitting down my father on Christmas Day. I don't think what are you talking about?
Wow.
He was just busy, and I cannot sit here and be like, well, he wasn't a good dad. He was a fan for what he knew, for where he was coming from. Benin City, he was awesome. He did great. So I look at all that, and that's why I had to ask myself, what do you think about family? What do you think about, are you going to, this is one of the worst questions I asked him when we're dating, are you going to be like my father, basically? But I didn't say it like that. I said, you have to be careful how you say it, so you don't run away. I said, how do you look at family? What do you think about spending time with your family? How do you prioritize family? My father's very soft tone. So you disarm them, ladies, disarm them with the tone. My father was a very busy man, wasn't really around. Like, if he was around, when he was around. But, he prioritized ministry a lot. He was always going to crusades, and things like that. Do you like that style of family? As I read it, he gave me this. So he just like the Holy Spirit told that this girl is a trap. And so he thought. And he said, no, I think that when your father was doing ministry, he had a lot to overcome. He was a pioneer in many things. And so now that he has already set the way for a lot of us, we're not going to do it the same way he did it now. We can relax a little bit and do it differently now. So I was like, that's the answer I wanted to hear. I didn't want to hear, I want to be exactly like your father.
That was really a trap.
It was. Straight up. Because if he said...
Everyone would have said that. I think I would have said that.
If he said, I would be the exact way your father did,
everyone would have said
we wouldn't be here today.
Everyone would have said
we wouldn't be here today. Because I saw how much of a sacrifice it was to be that person. And what a sacrifice it was for my mother as well.
Exactly. And
for the kids. You know, people are like, spending time around Christmas. My father be gone. Like, my father wake up at like 5 in the morning. He's going to morning prayer. He's doing that. He's going to construction site.
Family time is very important.
Well, it depends on your values. Some it depends on your arrangement. To some people, he's doing what he has to do for us, and we have an understanding, and then that's fine. I have an aunt whose husband moved to Saudi Arabia and was working for years, and she was here with the kids. But he was sending all the money home. They were living, and she was able to put all the kids through school. But they have their own understanding. So it's not everybody doesn't fit into the exact same pattern of marriage. I think when you want to put everybody in the same marriage box, marriage must be like this, then you have problems.
There is a pattern in marriage that everyone needs to follow if you really want to. Family time is very important in family time.
But he's done with all that now. The children are done with school. He's back with her now. They're together all the time. They drive around. You see them. I see them in town driving together. All the time. They're having dinner together. They come full circle. That was their understanding. Does that now affect the children? Of course it does. That is not home. She had to become the man, she had to become the dad, she had to become the mom, she had to be everything in terms of the family structure. So that there are some prices to pay.
Yes, prices to pay.
It's not free.
Psychologically, the man has an important role in place
Very
in the training of the child.
His presence.
It's presence.
Very important.
There's a control a man have when he's around the children that a woman cannot replace. I know how my children react when I'm around.
She will try.
From when my wife is around. They are well coordinated or position themselves properly.
Yeah, it's a different environment. It's a different environment. But there's choices you have to make. She felt that was the best choice for her children at the time, to make sure they all get an education. They both felt that was what it had to be, and they made that choice as a family and said, okay, you go, I'll stay. You'll be sending the money, you'll be doing what you need to do. And they were able to finish. All the kids went through university, did their masters, or whatever. And so that was just a choice that they made. So I'm always very cautious when A wants to pattern their marriage as exactly as B. There are some basics that are very good for marriage, both parents being in there, but it may not always work for your union. And just for its time, you might have to do that separation. But you must always have a plan of coming back together. You cannot just decide, I'm going to leave for the rest of my life. Where is it? So we just never see you, sir. You don't come for weddings. He came for weddings, came for birth, child delivery. He did that, came for graduations. He did. They had their arrangement. So it's very important that you have an understanding. You have the same map like we talked about.
So what's your final note? Your final words? Those who have the intentions to marry, we've talked about basically what they need to identify and how they need to reposition themselves, structure themselves to find the right person, because it's at the long run it helps them to actualize their potentials and can also affect you finding your purpose in life. So in your general note of conclusion, what's the last note?
Okay, for the one who is not married and you're about to get married, I want you to first of all get to really know yourself, and also prioritize God's place in your life. Let that actually be the love of your life. Let the Lord be the love of your life first, so that you are receiving from Him the love that you are looking for. You're not going to be looking at it in a spouse, so that you are not dependent. Like just like we talked about in the beginning, really establish the Lord's role in your life and secure His place in your heart, so that you are always stable. You're not going up and down, all over the place. Once you've done that, it becomes a whole lot easier to give love, because you're receiving love. Okay. So that's for you who wants to get married, the unmarried. Now, for the married ones, remember that your marriage is a teamwork, it's a partnership. So you may not get everything at once, just like Gloria said, you're one woman. But you can come to a place where you can structure it, where you can receive at different times, different things. At 20 or 50 years ago is not who I am today. I'm involved. I have to. You can't just say
so many things have happened.
So many things have happened.
Yeah.
So many things.
So many
and the
things.
person that I married 15 years ago is not who he is today. He's better. And that's because we have prayed each other into it. It's not that you have to have a better say. I really believe that where it says in Proverbs that the path of the righteous is like a bright light, she gets shine, getting brighter and brighter to the perfect day. I believe that as believers we're getting better and better every day. So give your partner the room to evolve. Give them the room to become. They may not be perfect, but give them room. Very, very crucial in marriage. They will change, you will change. You're not perfect, they're not perfect, but there's room for a happy marriage. A happy marriage is awesome. When you keep God first, give your partner the room to evolve, and you have the partnership mentality, not me first.
Thank you very much. I think we've done 2 hours.
This is like marriage counseling 101.
We've done 2 hours, right?
I remember.
We should have 2 hours. So I should call it a day today. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. I know some of you would want to probably reach out to our guest today, Reverend Mrs. Freda Idahosa Ajayi. We want to ask in the description below, I'm going to state handle where you can reach out, how you can access the book, how you can get this masterpiece. There's a book I recommend for everyone who have the intentions to marry, not just those who have intentions to marry, those also who find themselves in a situation, a marriage situation. You just have to go through these 30 lessons in this 82-page book, and I think you'll find the solution there. So in the description below, you'll see ways to get this book, how you can reach out to us. I think she'll be available to give you a feedback.
Thank you.
Yeah, instead of be them, let it be me. Since I will die, inevitably, then let it be, that it be said, when I am dead. Some other was free, some other was fed, some other not me, was able to see that long as we live inside of a country where no one is safe, no one is safe. We only evade, try to escape the imminent doom, but closer the date looms. It comes for all. If we must go, then at least when we fall, when